Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our final webinar of 2018. This is Nikki, and today we're going to be looking at top 5 rail journeys, or Nikki and Blaze's bucket list. So we have a couple of our Great Train Journey products, a couple of new ones, a couple of old ones that are back, and then just a couple that probably don't get as much love as they deserve. So just like normal, we have Blaze on the question and answers. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to send them through at any time. And like normal, you will get an email with the link to the webinar after. It'll also be on our YouTube channel and also in our Agent Resources Google Drive. So if you would like to share with your colleagues, please do in one of those ways. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them along the way. So just a bit of an overview we're looking at today. So 5 destinations. So we have the British Pullman, and we have the Tren Crucero in Ecuador, the Ultimate Grand Train Tour of Switzerland, the Great Southern, and also the Coastal Pacific. Just, of course, remember, just like normal, these are Great Train Journey products, so they are booked through our Great Train Journey team. Remember to call the direct line. You'll save yourself a bit of time in being transferred. So we have that direct number for the Great Train Journey team, direct phone, direct email address. Just like normal, you guys would deal with the same person from start to finish on all your inquiry, just to simplify it. And if you have any questions about any of these products, do let them know. We do have most of the PDFs on the website, but if you would like more info, just buzz through to those guys. So the first train we're looking at is the Great Southern. The Great Southern is Journey Beyond's new journey, and it is a service between Adelaide and Brisbane to Adelaide. So this one has been all over the Australian media. I saw it in the newspaper. It's popped up on my Facebook page. But I think there's been a little bit of miscommunication about it, or a bit of confusion. So what the Great Southern is basically the Garn has decided to not operate next year during December and January. So that's December 2019 and January 2020. It's just a bit too hot in the middle of Australia. So they're taking the carriages, slapping a new engine on the front and running it up to Brisbane. So the Adelaide to Brisbane service is a 3-day, 2-night, and Brisbane to Adelaide is a 4-day, 3-night. The good thing they have done with this service, bud, is that they are actually using both the Platinum cabins and using both those carriages to go on the Great Southern service. So one of the major issues we have with Journey Beyond is just Platinum availability. They just sell so quickly, they're so hard to get. So there will actually be 30 Platinum cabins available on these services, and they'll essentially just go up and back and turn around in the week. So the highlights for the Adelaide to Brisbane route are going to be the Grampians and Canberra, and then Brisbane to Adelaide will have our off-train excursions in the Hunter Valley and the 12 Apostles, and both will have beachside dining experiences. So there aren't that many departures for next year, but if you do have any inquiries for them, please do let us know. So some of the images, of course, it's probably what you're already used to. So you still got your 2 classes, Platinum and Gold. And then, of course, in Gold, you've got your Gold Singles, Gold Twins, and the Gold Superior. And in Platinum, the doubles and the twin bed configuration. Still the separate Platinum Club Lounge for Platinum guests and the Queen Adelaide Restaurant. And I think this one is going to be super popular. It's a great opportunity for those clients who have already done the Garn and have done the Indo-Pacific and are after something a little bit different. Unfortunately, you cannot break up the journey. So if your clients wanted to just go from Melbourne to Brisbane, that's not an option. They do have to do the entire route. But if they want to get from Melbourne over to Adelaide to start that journey, the overland is now back thanks to funding from the Victorian government. So there was a little bit of a stop on bookings for a minute, but because the overland is back, you can now get to every mainland capital in Australia by trains, which is pretty cool. The next service we're looking at is the British Pullman. So the British Pullman is known predominantly for being the sister train to the Venice Simplon. Basically, if your clients are going from London to Venice on the Orient Express, they will actually take the British Pullman from London down to Folkestone, where they then take a coach through the Channel to Calais and then get on the Orient Express. So when the train is not doing that, it does a bunch of different day trips. So I think this is an amazing journey and an amazing experience. If you do have those clients that the Orient Express is out of their budget or they don't have the time to do it, or if you've got clients that are in London for a celebration or an anniversary or anything that they want something special, the British Pullman is there. So there are themed journeys. They have the Golden Age of Travel. They do murder mystery lunches. They do a Bath departure, Brighton departure. They also have Valentine's Day lunch, Mother's Day lunch. So there are different things going on, but the timetable is not daily. So if you do have anyone interested in this, please check the schedules before you book them on the Eurostar out of the UK, because the one thing I find when speaking to agents is they find out about it and unfortunately it just doesn't work with the client's timetable. So basically, they're just day trips. They'll have 5-course lunch, champagne included. Prices start from $6.24 per person. With the timetable, you will see as well, if the word is steam is in the departure, that they will be the departures that have the steam engine. So they have the Golden Age of Rail Travel and then the Golden Age of Rail Travel steam. So just some pictures of the interior. The British Pullman is a 1920s service. So you still have that grand style of rail travel, a bit of a romance behind it. They have a number of carriages and then dining cars and service cars throughout the train as well. So the clients will be able to get a full dining experience, sit back, enjoy the day with that white glove service. Then they'll also have some free time or off-train excursions at different spots along the way, depending on the departure. So yeah, this one definitely, I think everyone going to the UK should be looking at it as an option, but sometimes it is kind of just missed or forgotten. So do try to remember it. The next train that we have is the Tren Crucero. So this is a new product for Rail Plus for 2019, and it's in a service in Ecuador. So it's Quito to Guayaquil is a 4-day, 4-night, and Guayaquil to Quito is a 4-day, 4-night as well. This train is a little bit different to some of the other products that we do sell because you're not sleeping on board. So clients flying into Quito, they've got the Galapagos cruise booked. It's a perfect opportunity for them to get to Guayaquil without flying. So basically they'll spend the day on the train. They have their meals included on board, and then they'll do their off-train excursions. But at nights they will actually transfer through to hotels. There's 2 classes, luxury and gold, so we have 2 different options. The highlights along the way include the Pacific Coast, the Devil's Nose Pass, Avenue of Volcanoes, and of course the Andes. You will see on the map there's some sections which are done by bus. This will just be sections of the rail where it's generally because clients are getting off to do an off-train excursion, and it's probably just quicker to take them down the line a little bit by bus. Some photos on board, and the photo that we have in the brochure of the Tren Crucero is that one in the top left-hand corner, and it is absolutely amazing. So that is the observation car on board. They also have the dining car and the different bar cars, just different general seating area. But the train, as you can see, part of it is done by a steam locomotive and part of it is done by a diesel or electric. So I think that's pretty cool. The steam experience is always part of the traditional train experience, so it's nice to have that on there along the way. They also use some really nice properties too. The properties look fantastic. So the next one is the Coastal Pacific. So Kiwi Classic is now back from Christchurch to Picton. So it has had about 2 years of downtime. It got damaged during the earthquakes and then landslides. So this service is now back up and running after about 2 years off or getting fixed. So it's a once daily 5-hour journey. They travel right along the coast. So it is an amazing itinerary with the ocean on one side. You've got the coastline, the plains, wildlife along the way, and then of course the bushclad mountains. They can also as well come from Greymouth and connect and via the Transalpine, and then there's also the option to then head up to Wellington, so they can almost have their own grand train tour of New Zealand if they would like to. So the train is running daily between now and the 27th of April, and then we do also already have the schedules up until October. Pretty easy to remember what the New Zealand trains look like because they do all look the same. So they've got the same carriages. So you can see those huge windows, perfect for viewing, the outdoor area for those great photos and images. And obviously the scenery is going to be amazing. One of the questions that we have already been asked is it safe? Obviously, yes, there was a lot of damage to the area, and the tracks have slightly moved a little bit from where they used to be. The scenery is still going to be as amazing and incredible as ever, but there are some slight differences where the tracks are, just to ensure the safety of the service. The next product is the Ultimate Grand Train Tour of Switzerland. So we do already have the Grand Train Tour of Switzerland, which we've had for a couple of years, which is a 10-day itinerary, which connects the 4 main scenic trains in Switzerland and the Jungfrau. So basically what's happened is Basel just wants to be part of the amazingly great train tour. So there's now an option to start and finish in Basel. So you connect with cruises, flights in, trains from Paris, wherever you like, and it is now a 13-day. Because Basel have come in, they've come in with some amazing properties, hotel options, and really great spots in Basel, a couple of extra sightseeing products, and then they continue on through and do the other 10 days pretty much the same. So the accommodation in either 3 or 4-star hotels with breakfast, and just like the other, they still get the Glacier Express, the Bernina Express, the Gotthard Panorama, and the Golden Pass line, and then of course the day trip up to the Jungfrau as well. So if you do have clients that still want to have a good overall viewing and experience of Switzerland's scenic trains, but do also want to include Basel, that's an option now. So you'll find both the Great Grand Train Tour of Switzerland and the Ultimate Grand Train Tour of Switzerland itineraries on the website. So just some pictures. I think probably all of these would be very familiar, but you've got the Bernina Express, the Glacier Express, the Jungfrau, Matterhorn. And don't forget, of course, with Switzerland, we do have the luggage transfer service. So it wouldn't be available to Zermatt, unfortunately, because it's car free. But there is the option, or maybe some of those longer days, that your clients can have their luggage picked up from their hotel and dropped off to their end destination hotel. So that's in the sightseeing area. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do the Grand Train Tour or the Ultimate Grand Train Tour to be able to book this. But it's just an option there. So the door-to-door luggage service we can do in Switzerland. Perfect if they've got stuff to do during the day, or if they want to do mountains. So yeah, hopefully that has inspired everyone and maybe taught you a couple of things about some of those other products that we do have that don't always get maybe as much, there's not as much information out there as some of the other bigger properties or the other bigger train journeys. So yeah, the Great Southern, I think this one is going to sell very fast. So if you have clients that are interested in it, just make sure you get in early. We can always hold a booking for 7 days on this as well. So that's always good. The British Pullman, obviously we're looking at peak season would be your summer months next year. So there are already some departures that are starting to fill up. So just check the timetables on the website and hopefully it fits with your client's itinerary. Train Cruzeiro, super popular. Ecuador is definitely becoming one of those places that people are doing with time. So they are doing South America and they're doing a couple of trips. So it's not just that 1 4-week smash it all out trip. They're going over 2 or 3 weeks, they're going back again. So they're interested in Quito and they do want to do a Galapagos cruise. Try and mention the Train Cruzeiro to them and see if that's something that does interest them. Coastal Pacific, it's the most popular journey. So it's great that it's back up and running again. And then we have the Ultimate Grand Train Tour of Switzerland. And of course, that's not it. There's plenty more to choose from. So if you haven't watched our other webinars, they are of course available in the Google Drive on the Agent Resources or on the Rail Plus YouTube channel. So we've had a couple of good guest speakers this year to really impart their expertise as well. So feel free to catch up on those at any time. And then, of course, yeah, it is the Great Train Journey team that you are dealing with. So feel free to give the guys a call and chat to them about any of the products. If you need any additional collateral, PDFs, itineraries, anything like that, do let them know. And they're pretty well experienced on these products too. So that's pretty much the end of the presentation. Does anyone have any questions that you would like to send through? Just while we are waiting for questions, you may have received an email just about Rail Plus brand changing. I just wanted to quickly mention it. So next year we will become, our branding will be Rail Europe, formerly Rail Plus, but none of these products change. So we still are going to sell all those non-European products, all your sightseeing, Australia, Rocky Mountaineer, Canada, tailor-made, all of those things will still be there. So it's business as usual, as you guys know it, just a little bit of a different picture on our logo. Cool. Some person commented, always wanted to travel to the Devil's Nose in Ecuador. Yeah, it looks absolutely amazing whenever I see pictures of it. So yeah, definitely feel a little bit more secure in on a train than maybe doing it on a bus service. So will there be brochures released for the Great Southern or posters that can be printed in store? We do have something on our specials tab on the website that you can give to your clients and add your details to. It's just a bit of a quick overview of the Great Southern product. In terms of will they be releasing brochures, I'm not 100% sure on that. It obviously isn't in our Great Train Journey brochure because it was only just released recently. But yeah, I mean, definitely feel free, email me or contact your rep about you know, what you are looking for. So we do have the Facebook tiles in the agent resources. We have that flyer, the launching of it. So it just has a quick snapshot of each of the itineraries. And as I said, you can add your details to that and print it out. It will, of course, appear in next year's brochure, but it's not, yeah, they haven't as yet produced anything for it. I think maybe because it is quite a short season, but it will be in next year's brochure. Cool. So no questions so far. Yeah, if anyone does have any questions, you can send them through now or just send them through to us after, or just reply back to the email that you did get. I actually haven't done, Blaze said, tell them your favorite. I actually haven't done any of these trains. So I've done some of the Switzerland ones. It's hard for me to say a favorite, but I guess if it is a bucket list, which this is what it is, that's why we created this. 100%, I think the train Crucero would be a huge highlight. The train looks amazing. That outdoor vestibule area looks so cute. I love the design of it. But I mean, just the area in general, like they're not, you know, the benefit of rail is it is about that sit back experience, but the train Crucero is traveling through those areas where probably really aren't that accessible by car, or at least not comfortably. I get bus sick, so yeah, so I think the train Crucero would be an amazing product to travel on, be able to see the scenery of Ecuador, and I just think it would just a small component to a perfect trip. It's not just a way to get from A to B. There's a lot of off-train excursions along the way. You are visiting amazing places, but you know, flying into Quito, seeing that, and then getting the train, and then finishing off with the Galapagos cruise sounds like a pretty perfect trip to Ecuador to me. And we are definitely finding the more of an increase in people who are interested in rail, and definitely agents who you know, want to get their names out there as being luxury rail experts. So it is the new cruise, we like to say. As much as cruise is an amazing product, if people want to see these places, they've got to get on land and they've got to get off the boats. So yeah, if you have clients that have traditionally done cruise products to see places and they are interested in these other areas, rail is definitely a great option for them. And every cabin has a view, no interior cabins. Cool. Perfect. Well, thanks everyone so much for tuning in today. I hope everyone has an amazing Christmas, New Year, Hanukkah, whichever celebration you would like to have over the next couple of weeks. And we look forward to seeing you guys back in 2019. So we do have always our first webinar of the year is the biggest, most important one that we run. And that is because it's the what's new. So we will hopefully have more information about year-hour changes on the 22nd of Jan. You guys will get a newsletter, on the 21st of December. We should hopefully be able to notify everyone of what is happening with URL for 2019, but at the moment, they're not 100% locked in on those changes. So if you've got clients who want URL passes for next year, now is the best time to buy with up to 37% off. But our what's new for next year will be the 22nd of Jan. And yeah, if you can't attend the webinar, just do read the email that we send or have a bit of a look through the PDF that appears on the homepage, because obviously there are changes that happen with your URL Pass. The last thing we want is selling your clients a product which isn't valid for a service that they want to go on or doesn't exist anymore or anything like that. So keep an eye out for that. And we will do the webinar just to run through all of the changes on the URL passes anyway. But I think next year with what they have proposed as changes is going to be very exciting. And it will hopefully simplify things from an agent side when you guys are quoting and having a look at pass options. But definitely if you've got clients who already know what they want, now is a good time to buy with the discounts. So thanks so much. Hope everyone has a great Friday, and I will speak to you guys next year.